I got involved in pro-life work the way Tom did, not quite as dramatically. I volunteered to help defend this fellow in Chicago named Joe Scheidler, who I had never heard of at the time back in 1986, when he was sued along with other leaders in a national class action called Now versus Scheidler. And the essence of it was that it was said to be an antitrust violation to try and shut down an industry, the abortion industry, anti-competitive, and that didn't make any sense at all. And then it turned into a RICO racketeering case. And to cut to the chase here, let me say that we lost many battles in the course of that litigation. It's still going on, but we won the merits in 2003, 2006. We went up to the U.S. Supreme Court, not once, not twice, 3 times. We lost the first one, but the second one we won 8-1. The third one we had to go back to convince the lower courts that we really did win 8-1. They didn't quite believe it or not. Only in abortion cases do those kind of things happen. And we won that one 8-0. It would have been 9, but Sandra Day O'Connor had resigned. Key points about that case. Notre Dame supported us in that case, and it meant a great deal to me. Father Ted Hesburgh wrote a fundraising letter for us. He also wrote another letter praising the fact that Joe Scheidler had taught at Notre Dame and he'd known him. And he agreed to be a character witness for Scheidler. He'd known him when he was a professor here of journalism or whatever communicative arts or whatever they call it here. But and he would have testified, but the trial went on for a couple of months back in oh gosh, it's so long ago, it's vague. But in any event, he was, of course, in one of his trips when the time came for him to come. But Father Ned Joyce, as well, was very supportive of us. Used to send us $1,000 checks. It was vital to have that support. And let me tell you this, the opposition fought tenaciously to keep Ted Hesburgh off the witness list when we listed him as somebody who was going to testify. Why? Why did they do that? Well, it's clear. Because Notre Dame means so much, not just to Catholics like us, but to people around the country. And the idea that Notre Dame would actually come forward and stand with us in a federal court where our people were charged with, oh my goodness, extortion, racketeering, but he was willing to do that. Well, they kept him on the list. His being on that list was a great moral victory. So what a terrible thing, really, to have had this event happen at the commencement last year. And let me just tell you, for Tom Dixon to have stepped forward and filed an appearance in court, not just going there to help these people bond out of jail, but to file an appearance as a lawyer for, my goodness, 88 people and 88 charges with no... well, it's just an amazing, heroic act. And we were contacted by the Denver Archdiocese and asked to come forward for the 2 ladies Tom mentioned who were so active in the silent no more. I regret my abortion movement nationally. And that's how I saw Tom. And Tom had worked with us on an earlier case here in St. Joseph County, so I knew him too. And I'd asked him if he was working with American Center for Law and Justice, which is a group based in Pat Robertson's university town back in Virginia. Randall Terry, who kind of led some of these demonstrations, of course, had been connected for years with Jay Sekulow, the head lawyer there. So these folks had come, and they were going to back up Tom, but when push came to shove, they really weren't going to back him up, and he asked us to back him up, and we were honored to do that. And let me just say this in closing, because I know time is limited here. We will do whatever it takes, for as long as it takes, to see that justice is done in this case. The Scheidler case started, as I told you, in 1986. It's still going on. We told them early on that we pitch complete games. That's the case here, too. We're going to abide this thing for as long as we can and for as long as it takes. But indeed, justice is going to be done. Father Jenkins came to Chicago to speak at our city club, and I was there. Tom Roser, who heads the club, is a strong pro-lifer in Chicago and supports us, and we made sure that a question was put to him about the ND88. And he said, well, we were trying to be lenient. Well, leniency, in Father Jenkins' view, is not justice. And I went up and talked to him, and it was a very cordial, courteous conversation. And he said, well, we offered them this pretrial detention. And I said, well, Father, you need to plead guilty, and these people don't think they did anything wrong. They feel like Dr. King, that what they did was right, was morally right, and they don't think they should plead guilty to a criminal act. And he said, well, Dr. King went to jail. And I said, well, Father, these people have gone to jail. And Dr. King went to jail at the behest of Bull Connor and the segregationists of Birmingham, Alabama. And our clients went to jail at the direction and behest of Our Lady's University for standing up for the sanctity of human life. And that's a distinction that Notre Dame is not seeing, and they must see that. And no matter what the legal technicalities, as Tom calls them, and there are quite a few of them that are in our favor, and we will press each and every one of them to the hilt. The real battle here is a battle for the moral high ground, and that's why this battle needs to be fought to a conclusion and will be fought.